Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be doing a makeup bag essentials video that's basically just going to be going through all of the products that I carry with me on a pretty regular basis for when I just need to get a look done quick and easy and simple and something that can be done in the car because, honey, you know I am doing my makeup while driving. I am a danger to the people around me. Anyway, happy Friday. I'm glad y'all made it through the week and that you chose to spend your time with me today, and let's just hop right in. So to start, I do prime my face occasionally. It's not necessarily something that I do every time, but I do like to have a couple primers in my makeup bag to choose from. So recently I've been using the Becca backlight priming filter, which is actually the primer that y'all saw me have in the haul video. I've had this for about a week now and I've just been kind of testing it out. And I also have the MAC Prep and Prime. Now you might be thinking to yourself, my god, that's a small Prep and Prime, and you would be right, he is a baby, so cute. But I just got this in a little Ipsy bag, and rather than carry around a really large one with me, I'll just carry the small guy. So I'll use one of those typically for my primer. For foundation, I also like to have two options. So I've got like a high-end option and a drugstore option. So for the drugstore, I have the CoverGirl CG Smoothers Hydrating Makeup in 720 Creamy Natural. Essentially, this is a lighter foundation, something that, you know, I don't have very much to cover up, and I'm not really wanting a super full coverage look, so I just will pop this one on. The other foundation I have is the Tarte Amazonian Clay foundation. This is much more of a full coverage foundation, even though it is still like a BB tinted moisturizer. I definitely find this to be a lot heavier on my skin and a lot more coverage for me. Now, when I say full coverage, I don't have very much that needs to be covered on a day-to-day basis. I do have like dark circles under my eyes, and like occasionally I'll get a pimple, but I don't have a lot of like discoloration or scarring. So as far as like a full coverage foundation for me, it doesn't really need to do very much, but I definitely would classify this as a full coverage foundation. So if I'm feeling a little blah that day, or just like I just kind of need to be muted out, this is typically the foundation that I'll use. I have the shade Light, and I'm typically, when I'm buying foundations, I'm typically the lightest shade possible, if not maybe the second lightest. I have very pink skin, very like pink tone skinned, as well as just very, very pale skin. So those are the two foundations that I keep with me. For concealer, I only have one concealer just because that's really all I need. So I have the CoverGirl Clean Invisible Concealer. It's a little tube with a little doe foot applicator. I'll just apply this underneath my eyes and then along my T-zone as well, just for a little brightening. This is the shade Fair. I really like this. I think it's got a nice texture. It's kind of more of a dewy look, honestly, like for a concealer. It doesn't dry completely matte or anything like that. I don't notice that I have creasing with it throughout the day or anything, and it does do a pretty good job of covering my dark circles. So this I've had for a couple months now, and it's just really the concealer that I tend to go back to. So moving on from concealer to bronzer. So I like to use the Too Faced Chocolate Soleil bronzer. Again, this is a little small size of it just because I use so little bronzer that I don't need to carry around the large size. So this is the little mini Chocolate Soleil bronzer. I've had it for a hot second now, and it still has such a great pigment, and you can really build this up for whatever skin tone you have. So like I said, I'm a pretty light skin tone, so I don't need too much for a contour. But if you are, you know, a little bit more olive, darker skin tone, I definitely think that you could build this up to still give you a really great contour shade. So I think this is a really versatile bronzer. So I like it. For blush, I actually don't carry a blush with me in my makeup bag regularly. I don't love blush just because I feel like just as the day progresses, my cheeks get pretty rosy naturally, so I don't tend to accentuate that with an additional blush. I do wear blush occasionally, and I don't want to make it seem like I don't like blush. I don't carry it around just on my day-to-day. I don't tend to apply it. But for highlighter, I love me some highlighter. I apply the Winky Lux Charm Holographic Highlighter, and this is again a little smaller of a size, but this is what it looks like up close. It's really reflective, and it's got some nice like pinky undertone for the shimmer in this highlight, and I just think it adds like such a nice look to the face. Like I just love this. I mean, it's the one I have on today, which you can honestly already see, but I don't think that you can have too much of this on. So I just really like this highlighter, and I think it does a really great job. It looks great on all skin tones. I guess my only hesitancy is if you did have a darker skin tone, it is a pretty like a white-based highlight, so it might show up like pretty light, but I still think it would be absolutely stunning on any skin tone. So that's highlight, and that's essentially all I do for face. As far as eyes go, I have an eyeshadow palette that I've repurchased 3, 4, 5 times, honestly. I definitely love the same eyeshadow palette. I'm a pretty neutral person by nature, so I don't tend to do incredibly extravagant looks when I'm on the go especially. So the eyeshadow palette that I tend to work with the most is actually a Wet n Wild palette. This is Walking on Eggshells, and as you can see, this honey has been through it. So it comes with 3 shades in here. The bottommost shade is like a light pinky toned shade that is meant for your eyelid. The middle shade is like a nice brown tone that can be a pretty good little contour, little like cutout color for your crease. And the top shade is your highlight. So really I tend to use the least amount of the highlight, but as you can see, this eyelid color is heckin' used. So I've actually repurchased another one of these. This little palette's on its last little leggy. But I really like this. I think it's great for just a really everyday simple look. I have, like I said, repurchased this numerous times, and honestly, I love the pigmentation. They are all shimmery, so if you're not a big fan of shimmery day-to-day eyewear looks, wouldn't recommend this for you, but I definitely like the way that this looks on my eyes, and I think it's super quick. It's got 3 shades, you know, there's no thinking about it, so I think that's why I like it so much. So that's eyeshadow. For eyeliner, I have 2, and the reason I have 2 is because I'm almost out of one. So tiny, but it's cute. This is the Urban Decay 24/7 liner in Perversion. I have to memorize that because I can't read it because it's so tiny. But this is like, I love this. I think it's great for your waterline, and I think this just super pigmented. I also have the Makeup Forever Aqua XL eye pencil in a shade of, okay, I think it might just be M10, M-10. But it's just black, and it's been performing really well for me too. I've been trying to figure out a new eyeliner that I can kind of transition into after this little guy's gone. I use that for my waterline. For my upper lash line, I'll use a felt tip pen. This, I honest to God could not tell you what brand it is. All I know is that, I think it may be, okay, Ciate, London. This came in an Ipsy bag, and I just loved it. It is dual-ended, so there's an end here that is actually a little star, if y'all can see that, and you just like press it on and it makes a star. Kind of interesting, but not something that I'd go for on a day-to-day basis, but I do really like the felt tip there. I think it comes to a nice little angle. I don't think it's dried out at all. It's a super nice matte black finish, and I really like that for just lining my upper lash line. Or my upper lid, and I think it just performs really well and continues to do so. And it's kind of a cool concept if you do like, you know, doing little stars or whatever, little designs in your eyeliner. I definitely think it has its place for the little opposite end, but it's just not something I do on a regular basis. As far as mascara, I have been using the Maybelline The Falsies. Again, y'all saw this in my haul on Wednesday, just because it's my newest mascara. It's been doing really well for me. I think it makes my eyelashes look really nice, so definitely like this. For lips, again, for just an everyday look, I tend not to do like a crazy lip. If I do a lip at all, I will go pretty neutral, so I actually have 2. One of them is less neutral, but this one is the Mellow Lipstick in Nude, and it's just like a really nice, it's actually what I have on today, but it's like a really nice little mauve-y nude shade, and I think it's great with really every outfit, and just for everyday use, I think it definitely has its place in a collection. The other thing that I have is something that I got in a stocking during Christmas last year, and I really like its pigmentation. I really like the color. I think we're getting into the time of year that this color is super relevant. This is the Victoria's Secret Velvet Matte Cream Lip Stain. I actually wore this just the other day for an interview, and I think its staying power is super, super nice. It's more of like a blue-toned red, which I think is... I think that looks great on my skin tone, but it definitely is incredibly long wearing. It's not something that you're going to have on for an hour and then suddenly question where it went. So that's kind of why I like this, and sometimes I like having a little bit of a bolder lip, so I like having these two options. So that's pretty much it, honestly. If you have any questions about any of the products that I mentioned today, comments, concerns, points of clarifications, feel free to leave them in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe this video, and I look forward to seeing you guys next time.